Hi, ladies. How are you? This is Rebecca, aka the Femalepreneur Coach. Today, I'm really excited to try something new. Actually, I am recording this podcast on video, actually on Zoom, with the purpose of repurposing it to YouTube. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually listen as well on Apple, just to try something new, really, to keep it fresh, keep it interesting, as business should be always. It's always about the next level of growth and approaching your business with a sense of curiosity. So I just thought I would see how this felt. At the moment, it's good, although I'm very close to the screen, so I don't know if that will be off-putting or not. But what I wanted to talk to you about, and I felt really compelled to actually, because I've been doing a lot of work around this recently, both in my group, the Fempreneur Society, but also other groups as well that I collaborate with. And that is around your future self. So let's get into it. So when we think of our big vision, our goals, our dream life, a lot of the time we can really start to think about it as if it's about 10 years away. It's part of our 5-year plan, our 6-year plan. And it's great to have that long-term goal, but I'm all about the quantum leaps and about calling in those desires right now. I don't like to wait for anything. Anybody who knows me will absolutely agree with that, I am sure. And anything that I can do to manifest those goals quicker, I absolutely will, because I know that whilst I'm at this stage right now, and this is my stretch goal, this is my growth, when I get to there, it will be something else. So I'm always like, what's possible for me? What else can I do? How much quicker can I do this? How many other goals can I hit? How many other women can I inspire with this journey? And I think that's something I'm really sort of in favor of in terms of my coaching style. Everything I do, I remove my ego from that situation. And it's always about, how can this serve others? How can this inspire others? How can this educate others? So what I love to do is to really condense my goals and the timeline for executing those goals. And one of the ways that I do this, and I use this in so many ways in my life, is by stepping into my future self. So this also helps me to have like guiding principles in life when I'm thinking about taking on new projects, when I'm thinking about working with new clients, going in new directions. I always think, is this something that my future self would do? That version of me that already has everything that I want right now, or that I can even comprehend right now, that I might want in the future, would she be doing these things right now? And if the reality is no, hell no, she would be getting somebody else to do them, or she would be supported with a team around her that does this, or she would have better boundaries, or she would be working with clients at a different level by now, then guess what? I'm not going to do it. And that really does help me to get clarity. For anybody who's like me, I'm a manifestor generator. So I come up with like 1,000 ideas a day. And I always have felt super aligned to Alice in Wonderland for that reason, where she says, I dream like 10 impossible things before breakfast. That is me. I was absolutely obsessed with that book when I was young. And it's really meant that everything that I've ever done in life, I've been able to approach it with a sense of curiosity. And I've realized that there's always bigger things at play than just me. So it's never about me. It's always about the wider, like, energy, universe, clients, mission, values, all of those things. So what I would love to do today is kind of essentially buy you into this work and why it's important. And then I'm going to leave in the show notes a guided meditation that I've already created, which will enable you to actually go and meet that future self version of you. So why is it so important? Well, essentially, change happens at an identity level. And like I say, my mum used to always have this saying, and it always used to make me laugh, but if we always do what we always did, we will always get what we always got. I.e., if you always do the same things that you've done up until this point in life that has got you to this point, and you still continue to behave and think and act in the same way that is in alignment with that mindset, then you're always going to get the same outcome. I'm pretty sure Albert Einstein says the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. So that has always really resonated with me. And I'm always thinking about, but also, you know, how can I do things differently? But also, I think as spiritual beings, it's also about our next level of growth. So we're not here, we weren't put on this earth and created to just plateau and stay the same. I truly believe that part of our journey as spiritual beings is to continue to grow and evolve and experience and be, do, and have all that we can be, do, and have. So, and part of that is just continually to grow the next and evolve into the next level of you. So, what happens though, and how people become stuck, is that they identify with that version of themselves that they are now, and they almost wear it as a badge of honor. It guides their decision making. It tells them what's possible for them. It really does keep them stuck. So if I use an example, if you weren't a smoker and I tried to give you a cigarette right now, you're going to say no. Obviously, you're not going to take that cigarette from me because you don't identify as a smoker. So you'll be like, no, thank you. I don't smoke. So therefore, I don't want that cigarette, because you haven't identified as somebody who is a smoker. It's not even a possibility for you. And it can kind of work on a bigger scale. So if I tell you, oh, there's an incredible mastermind I'd love you to join, it's going to cost you £10,000. Unless you identify with somebody who is empowered enough to spend that amount of money on their own personal development, you're not even going to entertain that thought as a possibility that's available to you, because it's completely outside of your range of comprehension and what is available to somebody like you. So I'm using those like really annoying like quote marks, but it's so true. And I speak with women every day, either clients or you know, people in my community, that will always tell me what is available to people like them. So they'll identify, I'm a single mom, so therefore I can't do these things. I'm from a working class background, so I never expected to hit that level of success. Or I don't have the best of health, so therefore I have to be really careful with this. Or I don't have that much time, so therefore I can only do so much. And it's like they genuinely identify with those behaviors as, I'm an anxious person, I'm not a confident person. So already, before they even go to do the thing, they've already blocked themselves, because they've identified as somebody who doesn't do those things. It's not available for them. It's not a possibility. It's not even something that they would comprehend. And part of my work as a coach is really starting to expand their mind as to what is available for them, what is actually possible for them. And sometimes it's about giving yourself permission. You know, a lot of the time we have self-imposed limitations that we you know, we've kind of inherited from society, from our family, from you know, generations that came before us, so ancestral wounds that we need to heal. So there is that. Obviously, like for me as a mother, something that I really had to get my head around was being able to accept help, because I identified as a single parent for so long. My perception of what a single parent does is not somebody that can afford certain things in life. And it's only when I started to give myself permission to even explore the possibilities of what these things look like that I realized that they absolutely were available to me. And I think I also identified with the belief that being a single parent meant life had to be harder than it is for other people that are in a couple or in a marriage, because I'm on my own. So obviously, if it's only me, it's got to be hard and it's got to be a struggle. And I realized that actually that was me keeping myself stuck, and it was almost giving myself excuses as to why I wasn't taking action, because it was okay because I'm a, again in brackets, single parent. Or you know, and equally when you're an entrepreneur and you're just starting out, it's like you tell yourself, well, I'm brand new, so I can't do all those things that other people are doing right now because I need to earn my stripes. It's got to be hard, it's got to take time, I've got to like do all of these things before I can get to that level of success and even think about doing these things because I haven't done my time as an entrepreneur. And the reality is that is just not true. You can do anything that you want to do when it comes to business because it's your business. So, and you can design it exactly as you want. You just maybe have to be smart with how you do it, but there's always a creative solution. So one of the things that I love to do is to really think in any moment, what does the future version of me look like? What does the most empowered version of me look like? How would she behave? How would she think? How would she show up for herself? How would she speak? How would she show up for herself? What would her level of self-care be? So not only does this help you get clarity around your boundaries, around your thoughts, behaviors, and actions, but it also helps you to gain clarity around what it is that you want in your life. Because for a long time, I would have told you that I would have wanted to be like a really empowered CEO. I would want to be like heading up a corporation. I would be very much in my masculine energy because that was my perception of what somebody like that would need to be in order to generate that level of wealth. But what I realized actually when I did this meditation for myself was that 5 years, or not even 5 years, but you know, in the future, what does that look like for me? I actually wanted to be on a beach and I wanted to have complete time and financial freedom. And actually those values are what matter more to me than a number on my bank statement. It was more about what it represented, which was the ability to spend time with my children, to create memories, to do incredible things and live a life less ordinary, and that felt really expansive and really exciting. Those were things that I realized actually were more important. And being chained to a desk and head of a CEO corporation actually probably wouldn't allow me, unless I was super intentional and designed it that way, to have that freedom, because there would be so many people. So it made me really go back and question a lot of the things that I had in my business, and also how I worked and the offerings that I had put out into the world as a coach. So that was really interesting to me. So, and that is my hope for you, is that it's going to make you really question everything that you thought that you knew. But also what's really good is success leaves clues. So for me, when I did this meditation, what it did was really highlight the disparities for me right now with where I currently was or previously was and where I wanted to be in life. And I realized I connected the dots essentially and bridged the gap, that actually, if I want to, you know, have this incredible empowered lifestyle, I need to start taking action today that will get me closer to that. I'm not going to wake up one day in 5 years' time and suddenly I'm Beyonce. It's all about the journey and the steps that you take each and every day that will inevitably get you there. And I think that's super important. So it's about how can I bridge the gap and how can I move myself closer today? So when I did this meditation, I really recognized the areas where I just wasn't treating myself very kindly at all. And it was really going to keep me stuck, because if I didn't start pouring back into myself with my own self-care, you know, I wasn't going to have the energy to do all of the things that I needed to do. So I was only ever going to just continue to go round in circles and hit a certain peak and then get burnt out and then go back round again. And it's a cycle that I'd repeated many times. So it's also about getting clarity on those patterns, and something needs to change in order to get a different outcome. And another thing that I think is always really important as well is I read a saying once, which was, set yourself the goal of becoming a millionaire, not to obviously get the million, but to experience the journey that it takes to get there. And I think that is also the beauty of this as well, is that if you can identify those steps that you can take each and every day that you're not currently taking, that will get you closer to that version of you, then the journey itself will be enough to enable you to truly transform and step into that future self version of you. So once you've done this visualization, I've got a really great little checklist that I'd love to invite you to work through. But essentially, it's getting down to the real tangible steps. So my future version of me, how does she look? How does she show up? What is she doing with her time? What boundaries does she have in place? And then how does that how does that differ from where I am right now? Because the reality is it's probably miles away. If you've got a big, exciting, expansive, embarrassing goal that is completely going to transform your life and make it your dream life, well, clearly you're not doing the things that are going to take you to get that, or you'd already be living it. So it should give you a lot of tangible steps that you can start retrospectively working backwards and thinking, okay, well, if my future self is the kind of person that goes to yoga or does exercise every day, what can I do today that is going to allow me to step into that version of me so that I can then become aligned with the dream life that she is already experiencing? Because that's what we're trying to do, become a vibrational match and aligned to that dream life, essentially. So first of all, we're calling quicker because we'll be manifesting it quicker, but also it's just law of cause and effect. It makes sense that if you are thinking, acting and behaving in a way that in the same way as the dream life version of you who has everything that you ever wanted, then inevitably you're going to get the same outcome as her. And I love that Tony Robbins always says that success leaves clues. So I've already kind of said, but it's just so true, because you will realize that actually, if I'm going to be if I am at the moment running myself into the ground, trying to do all the things, throwing spaghetti at the walls, not investing in any help or support, and saying yes to everybody when I want to say no, and not looking after myself, and equally not showing up in my business, not taking it seriously, treating it like a side hustle, not a business, then guess what? That is my reality right now. So obviously, if I continue with that, I'm still just going to get the same outcome. So it's about really identifying those steps and the disparities between what you want and where you are right now, and then reverse engineering it so that you can think of, okay, what could I do each day that is literally going to move me one step closer? And it's all about the compound effect and playing the long game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's, unless you feel inspired to take drastic measures, amazing, and I'm here for it. But sometimes it's just the little things, actually, because if you're doing a little thing, 100 little things or a little thing every day in the right direction towards your goal, then that's still going to be moving you closer to your goal and away from where you are right now in a positive way. So it's still coming. You're still meeting the universe halfway. Those goals are still going to manifest. And one thing that I like to do when you're looking at really reprogramming some of the beliefs that might be keeping you stuck right now is to honor that journey and accept that it is a journey. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and be Beyonce. Stop putting that expectation on yourself. But what you can do is trust in the fact that it's coming. She's evolving, she's marinating, she's percolating, and she is coming. Like, you are essentially going to be stepping into that version of you right now. And that can be with another journal prompt, which could be rather than saying I am rich, I am wealthy, it's understanding and honoring the fact that you're not there yet, but it's coming. So it could be, I am the kind of woman who makes 6 figures. I am the type of person who says no when she wants to say no. I am a person who is working on my house. Those are affirmations that are not going to be automatically rejected by your subconscious brain because it's so far from where you are currently and how you've been thinking. It's ones that are more accepting of the journey, and it will enable you to bridge that gap. If you tell yourself and keep connecting with that version, that vision, that future self goal of you, you will absolutely manifest it quicker. But you need to meet the universe halfway. So I would love to invite you now to go away and click in the show notes, either on YouTube or on Apple, to listen to that guided meditation and download the checklist to work through. So again, if you're the future self version of you, who is the most successful, wealthy and abundant version of you, is the kind of woman who invests in her personal development and her business growth and herself and her team, then let me know, because obviously as a coach, these are the kind of things that I can really, really help you with. And at the moment, I am working on a business growth academy. So I have the Fempreneur Society right now, which is for women who are looking to hit their first 5K month, that might be starting up their business, or just kind of finding their feet and their voice and getting into the rhythm of business. But the Business Growth Academy, so the next level growth, will be entirely different. This is for women who are already earning six figures, who are ready to start expanding and evolve and growing a team and looking at passive income streams and funnels and Facebook ads and how they have maximum impact from there. So if either of those options sound like something that your future self would be ready to invest in, then I would love to hear you, speak to you. Send me a DM on Instagram. It's the Femalepreneur Coach, and I will let you know how I can support you in stepping into that future self version further. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I wanted to keep it quite short and sweet today because it's really about the meditation for me. But thank you so much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any aha moments, let me know, and I will catch you on the next episode of the Femalepreneur podcast. Thank you.